What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Big Tank Hank, coming at you with a live stream. Now we got a wonderful guest that come to the den to class it up a little bit. Cause us fellas been sweating and doing what we do and stuff up in the den. But we got Miss Tiffany Rose of All In Tanks. I think Ozzy would say she is the number one of the one and two. Say hello to the people.
Hi everyone, it's Tiffany Rose of Tanks. And I'm missing my better half, but he's in the chat, Ozzy. And it's great to be here. Thank you, Hank, for having me on.
No problem, no problem. Hey, been looking forward to you coming on here, and having your time to shine, your spot. You got a whole lot to say, and there's a whole lot of people out here that want to hear, your knowledge. And I mean, it's so refreshing. It's so refreshing. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've kept fish in boxes of water for a long time, so I'm more of an instinctive, type of person. I know a lot, but mine is just I can help you keep them alive. But you have a little more in-depth knowledge. I mean, it's obvious that you study, that you put in the time. If it interests you, you jump right on it. And that's refreshing. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't jump right on it like that. ADHD is a hindrance for me.
Oh, yeah. No, that's completely understandable. The thing with me is, like you said, is something that I'm really passionate about. I'm super interested in. So I'm like a big time research nerd, and I've said this quite a few times to a lot of my fishy friends, within our community. So like even if it's not fish, like we were talking about our dogs, and we both have Yorkie. Well, mine's mixed Yorkie. Like when I got Otis, his name is Otis. Like I researched about Yorkies, and I still do, because I want to know about what entails to care for his specific breed. I even researched dog grooming, and I'm actually a pretty good dog groomer. I don't do it professionally, but I do a really great job with Otis, and a lot of our friends and family have me groom their dogs, even if it's cutting their nails and stuff.
Okay.
Like I just, like I said, I'm a research nerd, and I'm really loving fish. Like this hobby means everything to me. It means everything to my family, meaning me,
Right.
Ozzy, and the children. Now if you ask my parents, my dad likes fishing, and he respects fish keeping, but it's not like something, his passion like fishing.
He just want to eat them.
Yeah, well, back in the day, not so much nowadays, because our waters, we don't know like if it's safe to eat. It probably is in certain places, but we're just really hesitant about eating fish. We live near the Finger Lakes, so we live near Lake Ontario. I'm in upstate New York, and in Lake Ontario, it's starting to look what we call radioactive, if you will, or polluted. So we don't eat them, but my dad and my son Kiko, my youngest son, and my oldest son actually, but more so Kiko nowadays, love the sport of fishing, and they do catch and release, and I think that's great too. I grew up fishing as well, so fishing was my thing. I haven't got to go fishing throughout maybe the last 4 or 5 years it's been. I love to go back, but unfortunately I haven't been able to make it. So hopefully I can cast a few lines in with Kiko and Papa. We call my dad Papa.
Okay.
Very soon,
Yeah, I used to do a little fishing back in the day. Let's say hello to everybody before we dive all the way in.
Yes, who do we have here?
We got a nice group. Hey, y'all.
Oh, wow.
Thank y'all for dropping in so early tonight. Hey, does that have anything to do with redfish, bluefish not streaming? That's all right. I love y'all anyway, though. Well, thank y'all for being here.
Yes, we appreciate it.
John Doe, first to drop in. Lori Vanker.
Lori. I love Lori and her little pea puffs. Lori, I'm like her biggest fan, I swear.
Nathan, Fish Boy, what's happening? Mismatched Socks, first time seeing you here. Welcome. Miss Candy Overhauls.
Hi, Candy.
Hello. Thank you for dropping that link for All In Tanks. Color Guppies, what's going on?
Oh, that's my boy, Color Guppies. Hi, Color
Redneck
Guppies.
Jesus. I like Color Guppies dogs on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, his dogs.
Chubbs Aquatics.
Hi, Chubbs.
I hate stupid people. What's happening? What's happening?
Gotta love that name.
Non-PC red-blooded American. What's happening?
All right.
Danican Aquatics. I'm thinking this is Kenny E. What's going on?
Hi, Kenny and Danny.
Joe's Tips and Tricks. What's going on, man? How we doing? How we doing? Sickless 23. What's happening? Chubbs Aquatics. Foxes Fishes. What's going on?
Hi, Roxy. I call her Roxy because I believe her name, it used to be Roxanne, but I think her name is really Roxanne because I hang out at Father Fish in the morning.
Okay.
These days I'm usually lurking, but I try to like be active as possible. But I'm homeschooling the kids, so I'm like watching Father Fish in between schooling the children. So I've gotten to know Roxy in there. Actually, the first time I met her was in your live because when Ozzy was a guest. I met her and Lisa were in here, Lisa Perez.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are my girls. Love them. And Lori, of course. Lori is in the Father Fish squad too in the morning.
Good deal.
Yep.
Ozzy.
Oh, Melvin's here.
Ozzy, what's happening?
And of course, my love, Ozzy. Mwah, Ozzy.
You see them scroll down a little bit.
Oh, Hank, did you know that Melvin had Kiko, little Ozzy, on today live?
Oh no, I didn't know.
Yeah, it was. That was so cool.
I got a new work schedule, so.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah, if you could catch on the replay, try to, when you have time. But he let little Ozzy Kiko on live to show off some of our tanks and tell some of his fishing stories with Papa, and people were getting a kick out of it. They loved it, and it was like his first debut, if you will, like solo on live. I was the camera woman, but and I kind of like talked to him from behind the camera, keep him on track. But he did a great job, and Melvin loved having him on. So thank you, Melvin.
Hey, Melvin, man, salute you for that, dude. Salute you for real. Ian Atkins Nature Aquariums. What's happening, buddy? One of my mods. I see you there, Chubb. What's going on? Let's see who else we got. I think I hit everybody. Melvin, what's going on? Big J. Thank you for
Big J.
by.
And Vinny's Aquatics.
Vinny, what's happening, man? Hey, I peeped in on your stream. I just got home from work. I was, putting a little bit in my mouth, and I had to peep in on you and Joe over there, enjoying you guys' self. Hey, thank you for coming through. Thank you. Chris John, thank you. Thank you for coming. Oh, man. If I missed anybody.
Oh, Atkins Nature Aquariums. I don't know if you saw them. Ian, Atkins Nature.
Yeah, Ian. I saw Ian.
Oh, okay.
Fishing Mon 64. Thank you for coming through.
We got a great crowd.
Carrie Habercorn.
Definitely.
Let me see. Is that everybody? Streetwise.
Oh, Streetwise.
Kayla Aquatics. What's happening?
Oh,
Thank
Bob.
y'all.
Hi, Bob.
Hey, y'all. I'm trying to speak to everybody because this is the first time I've had so many people this early. I don't want to miss nobody. All right, people. We're going to go ahead and get rolling here. So, Miss Tiffany.
Yes.
Let us know, young Tiffany, where you're from. Earliest memory of a fish in a tank. When you and the smooches, how long y'all been together, where you met.
Okay. These are really good stories. So, all right, I'll start from
Anthony. What's happening? All right, go ahead.
Hi, Anthony. I'll start from where I grew up. So I grew up in Rochester, New York, but I grew up in the outskirts. It's very close to Rochester, New York, but Ogden, the town of Ogden, which is kind of near Gage Chili, New York. So I grew up in the suburbs of Rochester, and I grew up an only child. So my mom is Sicilian. Her family is from Caltanissetta, Sicily. And my dad, who raised me, You got to follow this story. My dad, who raised me since I was 6 months old, is Puerto Rican. That's
Okay.
Papa that I told you about, that fishing Papa. And my biological father, whom I didn't really, unfortunately, get to know. I met him, but, not have a relationship with him, is African American. So I'm Black and Sicilian, but I was raised by a Puerto Rican man. So I was raised like Puerto Rican and Sicilian kind of. But I acknowledge, obviously, my mom and dad raised me to be proud of everything I am, that I actually am. But I am proud of
that's
Puerto
real.
Rican.
That's real, though.
Yeah. Like, my mom even, she even took, like, African American studies in college, because she went to college while I was a teenager. And it's funny because when I first got my license, I used to drive her to like her night courses and stuff, and she'd be like, my daughter dropped me off, like my 16-year-old daughter, but just so that she could learn even more. Like, my mom grew up in predominantly Black neighborhoods, because at her point of growing up, she's like the youngest of 10. At her point of growing up, the Italians and the Sicilians had moved out of the neighborhood, and it was in the city. And then more of like the Blacks and the Spanish people were moving into those areas at the time, where she lived.
Yes.
So, right in Rochester. And so, like, my mom already grew up like that, but she wanted to be able to teach me, like, facts and, you know what I mean, like, history and stuff, like, properly. So she ended up taking that, and then I would help her with, like, writing papers and different stuff like that, and I would learn too, but then she would also teach me as a mother, of course. So that was it. And so I went to Catholic school my whole life, from kindergarten all the way until graduating, and I graduated from, get this, an all-girls school. So I went to an all-girls Catholic high school. And it was very challenging because it was all girls. But I made it through.
Hey, you stronger for it.
Yeah, I would say so. I wouldn't recommend it to females, like, unless they really wanted to. But I would say if I had to go back, I would go co-ed for high school. Just because you get that interaction of both. And I was kind of boy crazy back then, so, But I'll tell you what, the boys used to come up there and wait for us, because we were, like, right around the corner from one of the city high schools, because it was in the city. And they would come up there and wait for us when the school let out, so they could get phone numbers and whatever, and kick it to one of us and all that. So there were boys, but I just wouldn't recommend it, like, you get what I mean? Like, girls can be catty and the whole nine. So, that, and my earliest age of remembering keeping fish in the aquarium is, I think I had to have been in second grade. I remember we had a tank. I don't remember the size, but we had like tetras in it and stuff like that. But down in our basement is what was really cool. And it wasn't fish related, but it was snakes. So I'm scared of snakes now as an adult, which is really odd, because when I was a kid, I used to go out with my dad and we would pick up snakes. And like when my dad would find like horn snakes or like really cool snakes we could keep, he would keep them. I remember one having babies, and I used to sit there as a kid and like watch the babies and the snakes and like think it was so cool.
Well, what happened to make you afraid of them now?
Yeah, see, I can't really explain it because I never got like attacked by a snake or anything like that. It just changed for me. Same thing with worming the hook for fishing. I told you, like, I grew up fishing, right? And now, even like my older teens to now, it's like I have to be like, still, Papa, my dad, like, can you worm the hook for me? And he's like, are you kidding me? Like, you grew up, like, I was young worming my own hook. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get what happened. But I could definitely feed bloodworms and stuff to my tanks, but they're dead and frozen, so I guess that's the difference. Like, it doesn't bother me that, but worms like earthworms and stuff or night crawlers, I just can't do it. Like, touch them. I could look at them and stuff, but it's the touch, like the feel of them. Just talking about it weirds me out. I don't know. It's so odd because nothing happened to me.
That's strange.
Yeah, it's super strange because usually people's phobias like stem from something like possibly traumatic or felt traumatic to them. Not me. It's really odd. Something changed with me. I don't know what.
That is strange. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. Only thing. Well, the animal side, no. All of it is still fine with me. But I remember back when I was young and I used to run, jump, climb, and do all of that. Whereas like now it's like, no. But I broke up a lot of stuff though. I broke bones.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah, I broke stuff, and I think that's probably my biggest thing. It's farthest from my mind now to climb up or to do it. No, I'm not doing
right.
it.
No, I completely get that one. But me, I'm like, really, that's an odd thing, right? To be scared now, later, it don't make sense.
It's crazy.
Maybe Kiko will help me get over it. Like if I do more fishing with him, at least for the worms, you know.
Yeah, maybe. You just go ahead. You go ahead and do it. You'll be all right though.
Yeah, I suppose so. And so like after I graduated from high school, I got a job because my parents were like, you know, I was gonna take a gap year before I went to college, and they were like, well, you know, you gotta work, right? You want to get your kids, you know, some responsibility. So I got a job at Arby's and in the mall local is I ended up marrying my manager. I fell in love and married him, not Ozzy, my ex-husband. And and we got married, and that's how I had my oldest son. So I was married before Ozzy. And then things just didn't work out in that relationship, and I know that happens to people sometimes. So later down the road, like shortly before I met Ozzy, then or actually after I met Ozzy, because Ozzy and I were friends first before we romantically got involved, and I got a divorce. And Ozzy's been in my life since my oldest son was 8, and he's 19 now. So he's been in our life for quite some time, as far as, you know, in our home and stuff like that.
Okay.
Ozzy and I, so like my ex-husband got me, because he was a store manager, and then he became an area manager. And so my ex-husband got me into management. So that's what I did for a lot of years. Was I was a store manager. I've been assistant manager. And I was like prep for that. And I took courses for it. I actually like got a degree in business management, everything like that. So I took the route of restaurant management for some years, and then I found that waitressing was like bigger money, easier money, you know? So I got into waitressing. Actually, when I first met my ex-husband, I cocktail waitress for a little bit, and I was making really good money. And then he got me into management. So that's kind of how I got a taste of waitress money. Oscar, he's scared. Ozzy, I'm scared of jellyfish. Oh my God. That I didn't know he was scared of jellyfish. He never told me that. So now we're learning something new about Ozzy, all of us. And anyhow, where was I? Oh yeah. So like that's how I got a taste for the waitress money, you know, server money, is cocktail waitressing. Because I was like, I'm just serving these guys like one beer and they're leaving me $20. You know what I mean? To give them one beer and a smile and a little conversation. So I was like, that's easy money. So after like, I don't know, maybe like 5-6 years of management, I went into serving in different restaurants and stuff. And then I was like making really good money doing that. And then Ozzy, so what happened was I left one restaurant and because I didn't like how the management was treating me, and they weren't giving me hours I needed at that time because of like my son, you know, and stuff, being a parent. So I left and I went to this other restaurant, Chili's. You guys are probably all familiar with Chili's.
Yep.
So, so I went to Chili's and I worked there for a couple years, and then I was like head server. You know, it's a position like the manager of the servers, but also a server. And I would train like the new servers, you know, that came in. So the I think he was our district manager. Ozzy, correct me if I'm wrong. I forget his name. Edgar. Edgar. He was our district manager, Hispanic man, and he was like, "Let me introduce," because he would introduce me to like all the new employees, even if they weren't servers, because I had to know because I'm like kind of a management, but a head server, especially if they're cooks. So he's like, "Let me introduce you to our new cook, Oscar." That's Ozzy's real name, Oscar. So I was like, okay. So I walked back in like the dish area, behind. And here's Oscar standing there with his big smile. And he shook my hand. And I'll tell you, in my mind, that, that. It was like playing in my head. And this is probably boosting his ego right now. But it's facts. It's like, I shook his hand and I got giddy. Like my heart just fluttered like a schoolgirl. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
like I had this crush on him, but at that time I was still married. So I'm like, okay, control yourself, girl. Like you're married, you have eyes, but control yourself, right? So, talking to Ozzy, as you can tell, like he's just such an easygoing person. Like you can become friends with him fast,
Yeah.
And whether you're a male or female, it doesn't have to be a crush. Like he's just that type of person. So we became friends. We found out we lived like a. Yes, you're the man, my love, the man. So, so we found out that we lived near each other. So he was having car trouble at one point. So I would give him rides to work, and we got to know each other even more. And our schedule was like the same. So we took breaks together all the time. So we would like get to know each other even better, and we found out like we have so much in common. Like for instance, his birthday is 2281. And my birthday is 1281. And when we found out, we were like, holy cow. We had to show each other our ID because we didn't believe it. We were like, yeah, exact in the same year. Like, we just had so much. It was just like our connection and everything was just like endless. Like it was so much. So you see it, obviously, I'm sure you've seen this movie, Coming to America.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you remember how Hakeem pretended like he was emptying out the garbages and stuff because he wanted the girls to attend. I forget her name. The McDowell girl.
I was gonna say Leah McDowell. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think her name was Lisa, right? Lisa McDowell. So he was like smiling and changing the garbages, and pretend like he was mopping the floor, so she would notice him when he first worked there. Well, Ozzy would take his break in my section. Because like a server gets like a certain amount of tables. And I swear, I already had swept that floor. But because I had a crush on that man, I would do like a whole Hakeem. And I'd be sweeping still just so that he would notice I'm there. And I'd be smiling like Hakeem, like, yeah, notice me. Oh my God.
Ozzy.
So, and we still be dying because when we watch Coming to America, Ozzy laughs extra hard at that part because I tell him, I'm like, I was trying to get your attention, right? He's like, yup. But he was being respectful. Again, I was a married woman at that point, so we just developed a friendship. And then of course once my divorce and stuff went through, that's where we kicked it off to like actually going on dates and things became romantic. And then eventually we moved in together, and eventually, it's history from there, starting family, starting marriage, everything, starting life all over again. Because it really feels like that when you get married and you start a family for the second time over, and having kids like 9 and 10 years later, that feels like having kids for the first time again. At least it did to me, So, because my oldest son is 9 and 10 years older than Kiko and Sophia. So it was really odd. I felt like a new parent. It was Ozzy's first time ever being a parent. So not only did he move in with me and my son, he said, Hakeem, if you want to work here and stay off the drugs. I remember they said that to him. Oh my God. Mr. McDowell said that to him. Ozzy is a trip, I'm telling you. He's also a movie buff, so he'll tell you any lines.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Instead of when they're on their stream, they be hitting these these movie points, and I'm like, man, dude, you know every movie out there.
Every movie, like there, and he even knows like the catering company. I watch movies with him. He's like, yeah, Kraft Catering was the caterer. I look in the credits. Sure enough, he's right. How's he even know that? Like, Ozzy.
Hey,
Oh
he's like my wife and my youngest daughter. Actors and actresses
yeah.
from obscure movies to whatever, you know, we'll be watching. So, oh, that's such. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Oh,
how in the world would you even?
they would know that, right? Yeah, because I don't
Why?
remember.
Why?
I must have seen. We're talking about Coming to America. Like, I know I've seen that like a gazillion times. Like, I just watched that the other week, and I didn't even remember that line. You know, like I'm like you. Like, I'm amazed. Like, how they know that? Oh my god.
That is cool. Movie, hey, get it
Yeah.
in, man.
We have so many various interests, Ozzy and I, that you know, obviously like fish keeping is our favorite. It's like our number one. But movies, obviously, we love horror movies. We love wrestling. We watch wrestling. Ozzy grew up watching wrestling. I didn't. Ozzy put me onto wrestling.
Y'all still watch it?
Well, I don't catch it as much as we used to. We used to be really, really like, we watched it tonight though earlier. We watched SmackDown, Friday night SmackDown. But excuse me, we haven't watched it like faithfully in a while, so we'll catch like snippets here and there. And we watch on YouTube. There's these guys from, I think, the UK. They're from England, and it's called Wrestle Talk. And they're doing like you and I are doing now, where we're talking about fish and whatnot, but they're talking about wrestling. And I always told Ozzy, like, we should do, because you don't see couples doing like commentary or talk about wrestling. Like, not only should we do All in Tanks, but we should do another channel down the road, if you know, about wrestling. And maybe add movies into it, because we really know our wrestling stuff, especially Ozzy. Like, as you see, his memory on everything is pretty pretty there. Oh, Recon. Yeah. Hey, Recon. He said, I watched that in the SmackDown tonight. Just haven't found it interesting. Yeah, creativity does suck on it. Like, see, that's why Ozzy and I, you know, we didn't tune in. And I'm not sure Ozzy answer in the comments, but do we still have the WWE network? Because we like subscribe to that, and I haven't watched that in a while either. The last time I watched it, we watched like a documentary on the Undertaker, because Ozzy adores the Undertaker, and I have much respect for him, like as a person, getting to know his story even more, like. And he said, "Yes, we do." Okay, good. So I'll catch up on the network, on the WWE network.
All right, Mismatch Socks. You have a good night.
Thank you for stopping by. Candy, you're a young girl. Yeah, I'll be 65 in November. Oh, Kayla, you're my mom's age. Wow.
Yeah, see, it's hard for me. It's hard for me to do that new wrestling, because, you know, I'm 49. I remember when people got beat up for real, you know, wrestling.
Right. Yeah, like when they actually had the real blood, like they used to, the
cut
trick
themselves and stuff.
was the bleeding. You know, like Abdullah the Butcher and all them, and they had, yeah. There's Kamala, a name for it. Ozzy knows.
Nightmare. Yeah, I remember all of them. And the new
Ozzy
stuff,
just for $9.99.
It's just so theatrical now. You know, I just can't do it. It's so hard for me. Like,
it comes across like mad scripted, and it comes off like cheesy. Where before, even like when Ozzy first put me on, Ozzy, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but 2012, I think, or 2011, he put me on. Now that's, to me, when wrestling was really good, because they, the storylines were on point. I think John Cena was having beef with, oh God, what's his name? The one, they don't want none. They don't want none. How am I forgetting his name? Kiko used to have the hairstyle like him too. and well, anyways, the storylines were really, really good, but now, like you said, it's so cheesy and scripted and crazy, like here and there. AJ Styles, thank you, Ozzy. That's right, AJ Styles.
Let me see. The last time I want to say The Rock was still on wrestling. The last time I watched wrestling.
Oh yeah, that was a while ago.
I think he was still. I think, you know, it was like right there in the transition point. I think that's the last time I really was watching wrestling.
And Stone Cold Steve Austin was really good too when The Rock was there, because, you know.
And Stone Cold Steve Austin, hey, you know, that was the man. Steve Austin didn't have to fight nobody. You know, you just let him get in the ring and talk. You know.
Exactly. You know, I love his podcast though. I don't know if they still air it, but I watched his podcast for a long time, or listened rather. Well, you can watch it too on the network. And he's got a real. If you ever have time to listen to his podcast, you should. I forget the name of it though. Ozzy will know that too. I don't have answers for anything. Ozzy is my brain. No, I'm kidding. It's just because he remembers everything better than me. That's all. But isn't that what your significant other is for, essentially?
Hey,
fill in the blanks.
Exactly. I know after 20 years, me and my wife, I mean, if it's not that we're finishing sentences, you know, just us watching stuff on TV, or we'll be looking at a scene of something and we'll say, like, our response will be the exact same thing. You know, we'll say it out loud and look at each other. We're around each other too long because we'll say the exact same thing, you know, all the time.
Even my parents tell me, like, wow, you sound like Oscar, like everything you say now. And I don't even do it like intentionally. Like, you become the person that you're with, not completely, but a lot of.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Now, if you do it completely, that's something.
Sick.
Like,
hey, sick, there's a problem there. Yeah. But.
Yeah. Balance on everything. Just like fish tanks, you want a good balance.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring my wife in the fish tank. She's like, okay, they're okay, you know.
Oh, is she on the fence?
No, she's not even on the fence, really. She's
not really? Well, that is interesting because Ozzy and I are going to be coming out with a video soon pertaining to that because we promised and viewers asked for it. So, because they're all curious, like, how did you get him into this? Going from making hip hop music to this. Which he still does music. Just obviously he's doing fish keeping and fish related stuff more now than the music. And they're really curious about it. So Ozzy is like, the viewers ask, and I'm like, yep, they're going to get it. So hopefully soon we will have some of our tips and secrets. Well, mine. Being that I was the fish keeper. And it's going to be like, Ozzy will be in it, but it'll be like a, shh, don't tell Ozzy. Even though he can hear it.
Oh, okay.
Because he's already in it. It's too late, right? There's no going back.
See, I guess the plus for mine is she's not really into the fish like that, but she's my biggest supporter. So it's like, well, whatever you're doing,
yeah,
you know, hey, here's some money out of nowhere, some surprise money. Go get you some, you know, fish, or like, what you want for your birthday or Christmas? I want a tank, or I want this, or I want that. And, she'll do it like that. She supports it. She supports it. You know, like she's in there moderating, you know, like.
Oh, is she? Where does she go by on there?
Let me see. Let me scroll. Oh, there she is.
Which one?
She's on the screen now.
Wait, okay. No, I see color guppies. Oh, on the screen. Duh. Hello, Tiffany. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for my abs. Isis, right? Is that how you say her name? Isis?
Yep, Isis.
Okay. Because we have a neighbor and her granddaughter's spelled like that, but it's Isis. But she's Cuban, so I think maybe that's how Cubans pronounce it. Right. Isis. Hello, Isis. It's good to meet you.
20 years deep. 20 years.
20 years. See, Ozzy and I have been together 11 years. So
we only knew each other 3 months.
We got some years to go. 3 months?
3
wow.
months.
See, so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Shaking the hand and getting all those butterflies and the music.
Hey, a good friend of mine, her and her aunt, she's older than her aunt. Mm-hmm. My good friend and her aunt, they were like childhood sweethearts.
Oh.
So, my good friend's girlfriend, her aunt, her mother lived like 2 blocks away from me. Mm-hmm. And my wife and her aunt were there. You know, she was doing my aunt's hair, right? Mm-hmm. So, my friend, well, I'll say his name. I'm not going to say her aunt's name, but his name is Clarence. So Clarence was on the phone with her aunt. He was like, man, let's go down the street to, my friend's house. Mm-hmm. Her niece is there. So we go down there. We walk in. She's got on the Knickerbocker shorts, and the shoulder length hair is like short at the top, but it's cascading. And she's looking kind of thick. You know,
Ooh, yeah.
and I'm like, man, I
See,
really
Big
like
Tank ain't say he likes
yeah,
them
I'm like, man,
thick. You see that thick
I'm,
lady?
I'm peeping her. I'm like, man, who is that? So he told me, and I was like, man, I need to get a number. We talked and and it was just, before I knew it, I said, hey, you know what? We're gonna be girlfriend and boyfriend, and we can get to know each other later. Because we both had went through things, and it's like,
right.
I knew me.
Uh-huh.
She didn't know me yet.
Right.
But I knew me.
And you knew you'd be perfect.
The me that y'all see,
yeah,
is me every day. I'm one of the most genuine people, and that's not being narcissistic, not anything like that. I'm one of the most genuine people, period, that I know anywhere. I'm me at all times.
Yeah.
So since I knew me, I'm like, hey, I really like her. She's got a little girl. I want to be a difference in her life. I really like her, So I was like, hey, let's get rid of all the, the mental stuff. You just be my girlfriend, and we'll get to know each other, 20 years later, we went through it together though. We were married. We went through it together.
That's how it should be.
We had a little spell where it was like, man, we were butting heads, early on the first year.
Yeah.
We thought we wasn't gonna be together no more, but the good Lord was like, no, y'all gonna do this.
Right.
So
it was destined.
We got back together. Hey, here we are 20 years deep, about to be 21 years in November 10th. And you talking about my best friend, love of my life. We went from, I remember her asking me a question like, what do you think about couples just being under each other all the time? And I was like, man, I don't know about that. You have to have some room, have some space. Now, if I'm not at work, I'm with her, Hey, I'm finna go such and such a place. You want to ride? We just together. We in the house. We got TV shows that we watch. It's just us. People call me, and I'm one of those people. You can call me at 3:00 in the morning. I'm gonna have a whole conversation with you. I'm gonna give you, everything that you're looking for. But I don't call people. Like my best friend is in the house with me, so.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love this story. Like, I love your guys' love story. Like, that's amazing. And the fact, like, you mentioned, that your wife, she suffers from bipolar. And Ozzy did share with you on your live that he suffered from it.
Yeah.
So I feel like, for them to have people like us who can understand and who can hold their hand through, the manic and the downs and all that, you know what I mean? Like, not everyone will do that. I'm not trying to sound whatever.
No. I know exactly what you're saying. Because it is what I'm gonna say, it's not easy.
No.
And I'm saying that in a sense for those people who don't know. No, it's hard. But we started out with, hey, I love you. I love her, period. And our thing was, our vow that we've stuck to, it was like no person will come in between us.
Yeah.
You argue about money, you argue about this, you argue about that, but there's not been a person. I was like, no physical person will ever come in between us.
Yeah. That's real love. That's
it's been a wonderful ride.
Yeah. Even when you lost all that weight and you went from, like, to all the buff, like, you still stayed like that, 100 with her. Because, like, my ex-husband, he was a bodybuilder too, right? And this was before me and his relationship before me, but, he didn't start out heavy like you. He just started out, like, skinny. And then he went, like, but still, the body changed, right? And he ended up cheating on the ex, like, crazy with gym, whatever you want to call them, thoughts or whatever word. You know what I'm saying.
I'm there with you.
Yeah, the hoochies, whatever. And, and, like, he told me his stories. He ended up cheating on me, too. But it wasn't gym related. You know what I'm saying? But not Ozzy. Ozzy has always been, me and Ozzy have always been, like, how you're similar to what you're describing with ISIS, and that's how I know, like, Ozzy was perfect for even my son. Because when you're dating, you said she had a daughter. She has a daughter that you.
My first baby, yes. She's
Your
25.
first baby.
Yeah, she's 25. Stacy was 3. She was
See,
3
that's
when we
what
met.
I love about you and Ozzy. These are real stand-up men right here. He said, my first daughter. Ozzy says, my oldest son. Ozzy says, my son. You're saying your daughter. Not a lot of men will do that. That's a stand-up man right there. To come in now, in Nassim's case, my oldest son, like, of course his father was still present and everything, and Ozzy wasn't trying to take away from it, but it gives him an added parent, like a bonus parent,
Yeah.
And to me, in my opinion, I commend men like you and Ozzy, where you can come in and be like,
Gotcha.
even my dad, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so my biological father wasn't present, but how many men do you know that are honestly going to meet a woman? I was 6 months old. My father was our neighbor. He lived next door to us. He always had his eye on my mom, but, she was like oblivious to him, according to the story. But I had a fever, and she was out on the porch, like, nervous, new mom. I was 6 months old. And he came over because he helped raise a lot of his nieces and nephews. And he seen her frantic, so he knew what to do. Like, give me a bath, give me the Tylenol, different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
He helped her with me. And he ended up spending the night. He never left after that. And here we are. I'm 39 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to be 40 in January. Like, he never left. He's still staying the night.
Hey, I think my wife could probably tell you about the middle of the nights with the baking soda. Cause Stacy's, stomach is hurting. I'm like, hey, just a tablespoon of baking soda. Now drink this, and mustard will do this for the indigestion. I'm up, throwing up. She's puking and stuff, but I'm down. And she can tell you about those nights. Yeah, it's.
Oh my
God. Mean, I was blessed that her father was a deadbeat. And she looked so much like me. See, Isis is lighter skin complexion than me, and our biological kids are, they're lighter skin complexion. Stacy and I, same skin color. I had, for those that don't know, I had what you would call good hair, even though it's barely there now. But I had hair, and Stacy had long hair. I actually got to where I would comb it or whatever. So when people see us, dark eyebrows with the hair, and the skin color, so they were like, "Oh man, your baby is just so pretty. She look just like you." Thank you. I never told him. Yeah, I never told him no. Well, I don't know how she looks like me, but I never said any of that. It was like, thank you.
That's the same with me and my dad. We look alike, and everyone swears because they don't know the story. So they're like, and when they find out, they're like, what? How you guys look like? My mom's like, I guess I picked the right man then. Speaking of look alike, speaking of my ex-husband, even Ozzy always says that you look like my ex-husband a lot. Like, John, you do kind of, but I don't think a lot. But Ozzy says like a lot. That's funny. John passed away, unfortunately, 5 years ago of diabetic complications. He died of heart failure. And it was really tough on my son because he was 14 when he passed away. So, that is, but he was 20 years older than me. So I'm wondering, wait, what year were you born in?
72.
Oh, he was born in 66, so he was older than you.
Yeah, he was older than me, yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
so he was 20 years older than me, yeah. Yep. And his name was John Holmes. Everyone used to joke with me and be like, you're a lucky woman, huh? Some people might not get that reference.
Yeah, no.
Look it up, Google it.
Yeah, younger people won't.
Yeah.
Danny Glover, man. Hey, I done heard a whole bunch of people talk about Danny Glover, man.
Danny Glover? Yeah, I can see that a little bit, yeah. Yep, definitely. Tiff, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, yeah, ISIS. It was rough on all of us, like, we all went through it. It's still tough. Like, he passed away in the beginning of December, so every time that time rolls around, me and Ozzy have to be there for our son, for the oldest, because it is still, like, really rough on him. I'm coming to terms better with it now than I did when it first happened. Being that, you know, he was the father of my son and I was married to him for so many years, you know, even though it ended on a bad note and our marriage wasn't the best, still that fact, you know. So it was really rough for all of us. Yeah.
Gotcha.
We're getting through it though, the best we can.
Amen. But it was good. It was good. He knew his father though. I mean,
yeah. For the time that
I never want to take away. That's something that should be, does not have to be, because my father, I know, like 3 of my uncles, some aunts, cousins, but never knew my father. I got my
timer. Your timer.
Yeah. My timer.
Those timers.
My algae garden went off.
Oh, that's good, Recon. Recon said he got a new modem today, and his signal is much stronger on his internet. Lucky, because I feel like internet has been hit and miss because everybody and their mama is home for the most part on the internet, right?
And I'm glad you just said that, because I didn't really think of it like that. My wife and I, we have the pods, you know, like in the extra rooms for the signal to be, but lately it's just been acting a fool. But I didn't think about there's so many more people during the day that's on the internet because they're at home. Never thought about it until right now.
You're right. Yeah, it occurred to me. And guess what? Like in our area, Ozzy and I were just at the grocery store earlier today with the kids. And in our area, the toilet paper is back to limit 1 person. Yeah. And we're in New York, which is the lowest rates. I know we can't say the word, but you get where I'm going with this. And, well, supposedly the lowest rates because they're closing some New York City schools down again. So I highly doubt we're going to be at the lowest rates much longer. That's just my prediction. I'm not trying to scare nobody. I'm just saying. But, yeah, so I want to warn everyone, if they're back down to limit 1 on the toilet paper here, then y'all know whatever state you're in or wherever you are is bound to be you too.
Well, see, in Texas, we gunslingers, you know.
Yeah.
It'll be last minute for anything here. Like my daughter, you know, she's homeschooling.
Yeah.
At least 1 case a week. We get an email. Got 1 today.
Oh, us too. We got at least 3.
We had 5 or 6 right now. Every week, at least 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Now, I work in the prisons. They're looking good if we can go by what the prisons are doing. But that's because for the majority, we see there's no re-affecting. So since they don't go anywhere, and then everybody there seemed to have gotten it, it's not reoccurring. But they don't go anywhere, you know.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I'm following you on that. We gotta do that. That's why I said they opened up way too soon. I told Ozzy they should have did phase 1 starting now in October, if that. Right. But not back when they. I thought it was too soon, in my opinion. Let's just say that. And color guppies, our kids. I don't know about you, Hank, or you know whatever, but our kids are feeling the same. You're mean. We're the principal in this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, mine is 17. So it's kind of like, hey, we're getting these emails. This grade, you know, you're gonna need to do something about this. You're a senior, you know.
Right.
To me, this seems like the easiest way to go to school. You're right here, 1 room away from us. How in the world, you know, well, no, I got it. Yeah, we're gonna make sure you got it. You know, you waited too long. Hey, she had been talking about homeschooling for a while, you know. Oh, you know, I want to homeschool. Okay, you got your wish. You got your wishes, man. You don't like it.
You're right. Yeah, see, because we got a 9 and 10-year-old over here. Our college son, though, he don't live here anymore. He moved out for college, but he comes here still. And he'll spend the night once in a while because his job is like near our house. He lives in the city and we live on the outskirts. So his job is near us. So he'll spend the night. He'll bring his laptop. He's doing his college courses online too. Okay. So because of this. And he's okay with it, but the little ones, the 9 and 10, which are fourth and fifth, I had to think about it because they're so close in age, and they're like, "You're mean," because Ozzy and I are laying down the law. No, it's going to be like this. We have desks set up for them, little workspace, everything, like every other parent you see online, because I see a lot of parents posting that, and we're trying to tell them that's how it's going to be. They're just so used to. I get it in their little minds to how school is,
and parents not supposed to be that.
Exactly. That's their time away from us. That's our time away from them. So I get it. And then I share this with you, and I don't know if many people know this, but I suffer from chronic migraines, and I get them frequently. I was laid up the last 2 days, as I shared with you, with migraines. I'm doing better today, thank the Lord. But most days for me is very difficult. And then with Ozzy being, with the manic depression, with the bipolar, and he has diabetes as well. So he gets like neuropathy pains. He gets all kinds of different things. He has a torn rotate. Like, it just goes on and on for Ozzy too, unfortunately. So on our bad days, which happen more than good days, unfortunately, it's very hard to homeschool them. At that point, you know what I mean? It's happening and we're making it work. So Ozzy, we're doing good, but it's very difficult. So maybe from those days, we'll either have to crawl to where their work areas are, or we'll be like, bring your laptop to me so I can see it. You know what I mean? But we were making it work nonetheless, So I feel bad for the kids in that way too, because not a lot of parents are dealing with those ailments and having to homeschool,
Yeah.
Poor kids. Well, we're rocking it. We got this.
It's all right. Hey.
That's all you can do.
Those things when you're talking about, people speak of making, character builders. It makes for stronger and better human beings also. I mean, compassion, empathy, all of those things are cultivated in the midst of those scenarios. So it's not a bad thing. You're gonna have some decent, well balanced human beings in this world that need some so bad.
Yeah, absolutely. See, Color Guppies gets it too. You were right, but Color Guppies, going back what you were saying, how their parents ain't supposed to be there, and Ozzy and I get that too. Leave me alone. I won't leave you alone. Nope. We're gonna check that work. We're gonna make sure, especially with 2 in the house at age 9 and 10. They're going to goof around and try to sneak on the devices or whatever. Well, we take the device away. But, we've seen it all. Ozzy is mean anyways. You're right, Bob. You're really mean. Oh, we didn't lose Ozzy in the chat. I haven't seen him chime in. Ozzy, where are you? I had to be a little louder so he hears me. Bob said you're mean. And I agree. I hope that didn't wake up kids. Oh, is he? There he is. Oh,
his mean faces.
Ooh, that's the mean Ozzy. Him real mad now.
What else is that? Do I know that one? See.
And Vinny's laughing. I mean Ozzy's. Oh, see, not killer. It's like, see, I was right. So ask me more questions. I'm ready to answer more. I could talk forever.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. Hey, I'm glad that it was you that came in. See, hey, I'm sorry, y'all. God orchestrated that. Because, my schedule has changed and I've been at work. I'm used to, I work 4 days and the days be kind of short. I've been on 5 days in a row and new schedule. So it's like, man, am I going to be able to make it all the way through this street? I said, but I got to get it. I said, because my girl, she got to be on here. She missed the last one. I said, but she can carry a show. So.
Oh, yeah. See, you don't have to worry because I'm like a chatterbox. When I was a kid, even the teachers used to call me a social butterfly.
Okay.
Like I've always liked this. And it's quite weird because I have a panic disorder, and we're talking about like mental health. I have a panic disorder, but at the same time, I'm not like shy and withdrawn with the panic. I talk more, even more when I panic, but I talk a lot in general. So you get what I mean. It's like, doesn't matter.
No, I got you.
I talk with my hands a lot too. That must be the Sicilian side.
Hey, I got one for you. I got one for you.
Huh.
And it's those that want to know.
Okay.
The the better debate.
Oh God. I knew something told me this was gonna come up. Yes. Let me stretch.
Hey, look.
Bring it on.
I said, was that a setup? I mean, you know, we was like, okay. He was like, hey, I want you to debate with me. I'm like, she giving everything she got. He was like, yeah. And I'm like, man, she's getting hot. I said, I know she wasn't looking for this one. She wasn't ready for it. She wasn't ready. Hey, what's your thoughts?
My thoughts on it? Okay.
Hey, we love you. We love your Funk when you catch this replay. We love you.
We love you, Funk. And he knows it's all love, especially from you and I, because we're like some of his closest friends here. But he told me this, like, I don't know. Remember when he first made the post about, like, my wife, you know, she's going to see this tank and freak out, and he showed, like, the empty tank? I don't know if you ever caught it, but some people in the chat, he posted that up, like, on several sites, maybe, like, his community post on his page and all this. And Ozzy's laughing because he knows I get really mad about this Funk thing, but I'm going to be calm. And so he and Ozzy and I and Rob, we talk all the time. So I already know a lot of stuff before, obviously, the mainstream knows, right? So Funk calls me and he's like, guess what, Tiffany Rose? I'm going to do. And he's like, because the Betta's blind and the female, she can see, but she can't, she's going to go blind soon. And I just think he needs some tank mates to brighten him up. And I was like, okay, tank mates. He didn't say that he was going to put the female in yet. I was like, well, you got a 10-gallon, so let's brainstorm. There's quite a bit you could do there. I said you could get small tetras, like neon tetras. You could put in maybe even pygmy corridoras, because I know he has said to me that he had some at some point, but he's like, he didn't have them no more. And he was like, no, I'm not going to go buy new fish. And I'm like, then what are you proposing you're going to do here, Funk? And he's like, I'm going to put the female, you know, like he said. Now, he told me he had no other fish in his house to go in there other than the female. So when y'all seen the gourami in there too, I was shocked. And I didn't even get to bring that part up because I was shocked. Because I'm like, he told me he had no other fish. I addressed it to him after that too. I'm like, you said you had no other fish. And all of a sudden a gourami pops up too. Why didn't you just put him in with the gourami? Wouldn't that have perked him up like you said he needed to be perked up? Right? Okay. Now he was like, oh, I forgot I had that gourami. I forgot. Right? And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, this story is just getting ridiculous. So I started getting smart with him because I was mad and he could tell. And we always bust each other's chops anyway. So if I get smart with him, it ain't no thing to him, as you can see. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to get you a rainbow shark to put in there. And, you know, I was naming like all these aggressive little fish that could like fit in there, you know, and all stuff like that. And he was like laughing. He goes, it's going to be blind. Well, I'm like, you never told me about the gourami, right? So fast forward, he told me, since I was so against it, and I already had told him like majority of everything you guys heard, he was like still negating everything I was saying, and he had a reason for it, as you guys see. And so it was like the same conversation and stuff without an audience, right? And except for without me getting so worked up, because it was like I could end the conversation and say, oh, I gotta go. You know what I mean? Yeah. And again, we love you, Funk. This ain't me like saying negative, just telling it like it is, if you will. So so then he told me to bring all the research that I had and all the facts I knew up here And I told him, I said, do you want me to post this on a better group? Because I belong to a couple on Facebook. And he's like, do what you want to do. So that he didn't know that I actually did, because I didn't say, yeah, I'm going to actually do it. But that's when I posted up there. And I didn't say his name because I didn't want to, people coming for him.
Yeah.
But I posted, as you know, like I said in the live, I made a post and people were being very brutal. I read like the nicest stuff they were saying. They were being real mean. Like some people are like, I want to call and report him. He's doing this for likes and views. This is like super inhumane, knowing that they're like fighting fish. And then they were saying, obviously reiterating the same thing I've already had said or said on the live even too.
Yeah.
And he didn't care. So I told him, I said, I'm just going to go ahead and come with everything I got. And I did that. And he really had me upset, as you could see in that one part where Ozzy had came in and you see me like turn like this. And I was like, but he told me to speak up, right? And I was like getting so angry inside, and Ozzy could see that. I think that's why Ozzy came in and he was like, lighten up. Because I don't like, this isn't, again, we're friends to this day, people, so please don't misconstrue this, and Funk wouldn't misconstrue this. We're still friends. But I don't like when people, even if you are my friends, my family, if you're telling me, let's debate something, let's talk about something, but you're not giving me a word edge in, and you're not trying to hear, at least, you don't have to see it my way. You don't have to agree with me, but at least like try to hear me. And by hear me, I mean with your mind, with your heart, like care about what I'm saying too. You don't have to agree. But this is how I even explain to Ozzy or my kids if I feel like they don't hear me, like in their mind and in their heart. So he wasn't, and you could see that, and the audience could see that clearly. You know what I mean? And it really hurt me, because here's one of my dearest, closest friends, and we already pre-discussed. He knew I was gonna come with all this, so it's not like, so why aren't you giving me a chance, especially for an audience who wasn't in our phone conversations, to get an understanding where Tiffany Rose was coming from? Instead, I felt like, and this could just be me, because I'm like this with my panic disorder and stuff. Sometimes, like, I get irrational thinking, But I felt like I was kind of painted as a female dog, if you will, because I don't want to say a curse word, but you know what I mean. And
well, no, because
okay,
the actual information that you was given was what better people would say.
Right, and I felt that.
Well, see, on my end, it was like, how can I put it? I think Funk and I are so cool. I'm by no means like Funk, but
yeah,
I can understand, because I think like this,
Okay.
As opposed to like, I think like this. So I could see certain scenarios where, let's say, okay, if neither one of them can see what you get, but
right.
but you have to be responsible. So I could see that.
Yes.
But no, you were given all valid, better people point, and I know how they are. So I mean, the stuff you was giving, I was like, yeah, I guess she didn't tell them, oh, see, I'm the guy that goes on the better forums and stuff like that, and I check people like, hey, it would have been better if you had answered the question that this person asked before you went in on them about the tank that they have in, or they were just killers. They killers over there.
Absolutely. And the difference was, I knew all the facts, and I was so informed on everything, at least, to my knowledge, other than the Garami being there. And we're talking about a 10-gallon, Hank. We're not talking about a 20 long or bigger. And that's also where it troubled me, because it's such close quarters, a 10-gallon.
No getaway,
Compared, whether the vision is there or not, compared to a 20-gallon long or bigger, in my opinion. Now, if he would have did it in a 20-gallon long and it was planted or had fake or decoration, site barriers, I still would have been against it for the same type of lines, maybe not completely the full, but I would have been more like, okay, no debate needed. Let's just kind of see, because the space, the site barrier, and such, because it's the same as not the same, but people do sororities. You've done a sorority. I've seen that. They don't always work out.
Yeah.
They might work out for months. They might work out for a year, and then all of a sudden, right? You know, I've seen and read a lot of stories on that. I've never personally done it, and he tried to play me like that too. Let me just say that, because I haven't done it or experienced it, just because this is based on research. Okay, but I've owned betas, and I know their behaviors and their different personalities.
I've lost a $35 fish, like, you know, hey, I got a divider in here, y'all are side by side, and somehow this one slipped through a little opening. Oh, I mean, yeah, you
And I know he wasn't
better
like intentionally trying to play me, but it just felt that way. And that's where I start getting a little defensive, because, you know, like you said, I'm seeing it by the book. I'm seeing like what any reasonable person with knowledge behind this would say. And I'm trying at first to tell him in the nicest way possible, but not getting a word in. So that really did bother me. And ironically, it came out when the presidential thing. And Ozzy, you seen he made that comment. He was like, "Hey, this is much better than that dumpster fire of a debate between the presidents," right? And then everyone was like agreeing with him. He was right, though. It was better in my opinion. But yeah, it's all love. You know, at the end of the day, Funk is my boy. You know, he's like one of my best friends. And those were just points of where my emotions got in the way. And, you know, we ended it. I just want what's best for the animals. You know, whether there's fish or anything, you know, I just want to do what's best for them.
Because later on, I can't remember what was another video where I came in, I was coming to him, you know, but I was like, man, I say it's obvious, you know. I remember back when he said he didn't name fish.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I said, hey, man, I say, looks like you really love that fella.
Right.
You need to give him a name. And he was like, I'm going to leave it up to you to name him. And I'm still trying to figure out one for him. But I was like, man, you know, you have an attachment for that fish. I say it's obvious to me that y'all were both coming from the same direction, just from opposite ends of it. So you really care about that fish. You know where he started, where he is now, and you know, you don't, being as honest as possible. I'm one of the people who can actually get a fish. If, oh my God, there's something wrong here, let me get this cup of water, put the fish in and put it in the freezer and let the heart rate slow down, and I can euthanize like that and not.
Yeah, I would have a hard time with that too. I never had to do that, knock on wood.
I had a female that grew this big growth, a female betta, a koi betta. The growth just kept growing. I tried to do some little surgery on it myself at one point, but it just kept going. So it was like, man, she can't continue like that. I mean, I just in the tank, you know. So
yeah,
you know, I was sometimes, like, man, I say, you care about that fish, dude. I said, and it's obvious. I say, just tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? Just tell the truth. You really care about him. You really care about him, and then open up, you know, to hear, you know, what other folks saying about, you know, what you could possibly do. Because I mean, I can understand, you know, you're like, oh man, he's at the bottom of the tank, he's lethargic, you know.
Yeah, like, hey. he said that, but what he had him in before, in the 10-gallon, it was kind of barren. There was no ways to, even blind, he's still navigating, right? You see when he entered him into the tank, when he put him in. And he didn't have enough. Funk don't believe in plants and whatever, and that's his prerogative. But I told him, even like fake, you know, or decoration, you know, anything. It doesn't have to be live plants. Even though I love live plants, doesn't mean he has to. But something in there, right? Yeah. And he just didn't have nothing for an explorer. But when he had him with the female and the gourami, he added in the Java fern, and he added in floating, I think it was Java moss per my instruction, because it's like, okay, Tiffany Rose, I'm gonna give you that. Then was a private video that he showed me in Ozzy the other day. Sure enough, this guy, the betta, the blind one, was laying in the moss, like I told him, the floating moss. Now, and he tried to play this off too. He chased the female and flared at her several times. And he kept trying to play it off while me and Ozzy was like, don't even point it out anymore. Because there's no reasoning there. Love him, but I can't reason with you, funky. Why? Oh my God. He's talking about I'm the yin to his yang. It's more like he's the insane in my membrane. Oh my God. But everybody needs a friend to keep them grounded. So
Yeah, right.
I'm that.
Right.
Yeah.
Humble. Yep.
So we shall see with that one. And if he wants to have a part 2, like Danikin has said in his live, I remember this. Danikin was like, Tiffany will be telling you, you were right. I mean, that I was right. You know, I told you so, rather, he said. You're going to say, Tiff will say, I told you so. I'm going to be there and I'm going to be like, I told you so. Waffles and chicken strips. Oh, sounds good. That's what Bob Kaler was saying. Too soon. Wonder if we counted flu cases the same way. Oh. Yeah. Ozzy and I were wondering that too. That's a valid.
Yeah, because it's like, how can you tell different? My wife,
yeah,
her doctor is a little ways away. He's in the town that we used to live in, and she still has a tendency to drive there. So he was like, you're going to need a flu shot. You know, like if you come to see me, you need to get a flu shot.
Yeah.
Because he was saying if she got sick, he was going to treat her like COVID. I say, well, if you don't get a flu shot and the same thing happens, or if you get one and get sick, they still going to treat you the same way, because how you going to know the difference?
That's what me and Ozzy were saying, because usually Ozzy, surprisingly, even with diabetes, because I don't think this is wise as a wife, for him to opt out of the flu shot. He's gotten the flu on the flu shot, as have I, but I still get it.
I've never gotten a flu shot.
No, and you see, you know, but you don't have diabetes, right, or nothing like that. See, that's why I encourage Ozzy, like, please get it. But this year, I laid down the law because of this, like what we're discussing. And hey, why? He's saying hi to us. So why not in Wyoming?
Yeah, I'm waiting. I see it on my phone, but my screen. It's slow. You know, it's so behind. I'm waiting for it to come up.
It is behind.
There we go.
Okay.
What's happening, man? What's happening? And it kills me because I'm looking at my phone at the chat and I'm like, okay, I'll see people saying something, but I'm waiting on it to come up on the screen in front of me.
Thank you for coming by. Why?
Thank you. So
I laid down the law this year that everyone in this household has to get a flu shot, because no matter what their beliefs are. It's got to happen because of the reason that you're discussing and Vinny was saying, you know, because we don't want to be treated like it's something else when it's the flu. We don't want to have to go through those horrible testing, if not, and then that and whatever. You get where I'm going with this. Because I don't want to say too much. I know we can't say too much on here, but you get where I'm going with that. So that's why I laid down the law and I said, you know, that's what it's got to happen.
Good night, Candy. Thank you for coming through.
Good night, Candy. Thank you. She's such a sweetheart. Aw.
She's a superhero. I don't understand it.
She is. My gosh. I really admire her, though. Her strength and the way that she handles everything. And, you know, she's just, like, super inspiring. Her and Madfish Diva are, like, two women that I really admire. I know a lot of people say different women on FishTube and, you know, involved in our community here on FishTube, you know. But I have to say Candy and Lori Venker. I always say Vecner. But either way, Lori's my girl. Those three women, to me, are like inspirations for the way that they handle stuff in FishTube, YouTube, and just the way they are in the hobby too. Like, they've been very influential to me. And, you know, lately I'm sure there'll be other new people coming out that are good.
They're showing how you
paving the way, you know.
They're showing how you can push through in the midst of.
Yeah. And
let me hit Mr. Fish, sir. What happens, you know, when you put them in water in the freezer, I mean, it just slows down the metabolism gradually. As it gets colder, and they go to sleep.
Yeah. And is it clove oil also has?
Clove oil does, but the clove oil, I mean, I'd have to look into it more.
I think
The
it's more
clove oil, the clove oil to me almost seemed like it was like suffocation. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess it's like a anesthesia in a sense. I really don't know.
So they say, yeah, they say.
I'm like, oh man, the clove oil. I don't know about the.
Anthrax.
I know what the freezer does, but
Yeah, the freezer one. That one, I don't know. I know it's a thing, but I don't think I could do that one. Maybe the clove oil before that one, in my opinion. For me. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Or I'd be like, Ozzy, you do it. I don't think Ozzy has the heart for that either, though.
And I used to, back in my day, when I raised rabbits and all this different stuff, I mean, I was the axe, head chop off guy. So I could do that. The freezer is nothing compared to that.
You're making me think of my favorite. Oh my gosh. Me and the kids, we love Charlotte's Web.
I cried back when I was little. Oh, man.
I know.
Oh, I cried. Charlotte's Web.
And when you just said that about the bunny, I was thinking of, but Papa! And she's holding Wilbur. And then the brother was like, I want a pig. And then he's like, we only give pigs to early risers, remember? And then the frog goes hopping on the pancakes. Now that movie I've memorized. I always sing the songs to my kids. I sing those songs as lullabies. The songs from Charlotte's Web.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like the one where she's like, there must be something more to us than you and me. You know that one that she sings to him?
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
I'll sing that to the kids.
That was always strange to me. I'm like, what's a little pig? What is she doing?
They love it. Like, I always sing old songs to the kids. Like, even if it's not movies or cartoons. Like, do you remember, like, DuckTales and stuff? Okay, so, like, I'll even sing that to the kids randomly. Like, they didn't grow up watching it, although they have reboot now, but this was even before the reboot. And I'll be like this, like a hurricane. Like, if we're...
And see, I was older, so it was like my kids was watching DuckTales.
Oh, yeah, because but you're aware of it. Your kids watch
no, I definitely know.
Yeah, like that whole Disney afternoon, I'll sing all the songs to my kids. And the whole Launchpad McQuack was like in every show on there. Me and Ozzy always laugh at that. He was like the pilot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'm always like singing to my kids like all kinds of things like that. I got them even into Fraggle Rock. Like I throw
Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, I show them like all the throwback stuff. We bug on
Ozzy. You were little when Fraggle Rock was on.
Yeah, I used to watch it on HBO when I was a kid.
Little.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was back when I was young, and I would take the cable wire because when you couldn't afford it. They had ran the cable to everybody's house. I guess they're just assuming, you call them and they just come. They cut the end, put the connection on, hook it to your TV. You play it. But I was a little guy that was, I was about splicing wires. I was building and doing all kinds of stuff. So I stripped the wire myself and had the little inner copper wire real long.
Yeah.
And had the other wire exposed, and I would stick it in the hole of the TV. It would be, fuzzy. But I could watch it. That's how I watched HBO and Fraggle Rock and all of that.
Oh my gosh, that was good though. You figured that out. Like it was fuzzy, but you got it. Yeah, I remember. Do you remember like on the cable thing? It was like a zip thing to change the channels.
Oh yeah, the box. Yeah.
Yeah, and you zip it through. But like my grandma, my mom's mom, she was paralyzed unfortunately at that point. And we were terrible little kids. Me and my cousin Josh. My grandma would be watching like General Hospital or like watching The Price is Right. And I remember us giggling and think it was funny. And we go to the thing and zip it on her. And she is like, call from my Aunt Rosemary. Rosemary, get these kids. She had like a heavy like Italian accent and she'd be yelling at that and we'd be laughing. Oh my God. It was crazy. We were terrible. Oh my God. We used to prank people before pranking was like a thing. Like back when we were kids, when we were like Kiko and Sophia's age, like serious pranks. We ordered porter potties to this lady's house. It was like Yeah,
You
porta
like
potty.
serious pranks?
Serious pranks. We got caught too because our oldest cousin, he ratted on us, and my mom took me down to the police station, and they made me like wash the pizza, help wash like pizza delivery cars and stuff, because pizza was like part of the prank too. But the porta potty thing, so we called and we like tried to sound adult like, and we were like, "Hi, yes, we need porta potties for our wedding. Our daughter's getting married," you know? And they actually delivered them.
No.
And they came with the. We watched at the. This is how bad we were. We watched at the end of the street in the bushes while the flatbread bed truck came with the porta potties to this neighbor's house. Yeah, we were bad. We were bad. Like, oh my gosh. And the ball whooping we got for that.
No, the
Or,
most we did was just we called people's house and asked for other folks and hang up. That's how we did. We didn't do the serious.
No, me and my cousin. You ever seen like that show Crank Yankers? That was like the puppets.
With the puppets.
We were like that too. We do like pranks like that kind of thing too. Before that was a thing. We're like the originators of it. I wish like, because it was like not the age of, you know what I mean? It was like the early 90s, late 80s. Yeah, she's laughing, Roxy. Yes, I have so many more stories.
Oh, man.
It's crazy. But that was like the worst of the worst that I can remember right now. I'm sure I'll remember more, and I'll share it with you guys another time. But, oh, my God.
Hey, look, you going to make me start having, like, specific topics. Because, hey, as kids, what's the worst pranks? You know, have a whole
That's
episode.
A good one. Yeah, you should. I bet the stories a lot of these people could tell, like, you can only imagine. Because we all grew up, majority of us, in a time where it wasn't like this, where the kids could just watch kids doing pranks on YouTube or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. We grew up in a time where you really had to use your head. Now, granted, that was some messed up stuff, but we really used our head. Yeah. You know?
Oh, what you say? Melvin used to ring doorbells and run. Yeah, I could never do that one because I was never one of the smallest kids, you know. So I would always, they would have to see me because I'd be behind the line running.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this was before like caller ID was a thing too. So like doing these prank calls, gosh, I remember because I was so young, like I had been 10, 11 years old. So while we were doing the pranks, we called this travel agency. And this is how young I was. So my cousin, he told me what to say to them. Hey, Mary Paige. Hi.
Hey, Mary, thank you.
Yes, we're being super positive, and these stories are something else. But he was a little older, like a year older. We were close in age, but he's like a year older. So I'm 11, he was about 12 at this point, and we're calling the travel agency, and he put me up to do the call. And I said,
"That's my son right there."
That's your son, Jay, 1985.
Jay, 1985.
Oh, he's not much younger than me. What's up?
What's up, Jay?
I'm 1981. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so he puts me up to calling the travel agency, right? So I call and I'm like, "Hi, I'd like to book a cruise to Beverly Hills." My cousin, he yelled at me. He's like, "You idiot!" He's like, "You don't take a cruise to Beverly Hills." That one stuck out on my head. That was crazy. I said, "Cruise to Beverly Hills." Oh my God. And I hung up the phone so quick. Oh my goodness.
No, we would do the calling somebody. Would be me and my girl cousins. We call people and act like it's somebody that liked them.
Oh, wow.
Fake name, you know, and have whole conversations with them.
Yeah.
See, that was sick. You know, that was sick. You know, we do that kind of stuff. Now you got this person, they all hyped up.
Oh,
go
my
to school
God.
telling this whole story, you know, about this person that just randomly called them.
I did that too. I did something similar like that. Okay, so like when I was like 15, 16 years old, there was a thing around here. I don't know if it was like around for you, but it was called Chatline. The Chatline. And so like a lot of teenagers would go on it, and I guess maybe like younger adults, but not like older adults, but like younger. So I was 15. I was on the chat line, and this guy was like, "Yo, shorty, like, I want to get to know you." So I'm like, "Yeah, my name is Vanessa," and I was like, he's like, "Well, what you look like? Like, tell me what you look like." So I was like, "Yeah, I look like, on Saved by the Bell, Tiffany Amber Thiessen that plays Kelly." And he was like, "Word." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Where you work at?" And I was like, "I work at Victoria's Secret. I'm a manager at Victoria's Secret." He was getting all worked up. He's like, "Yo," he's like, "Stay word. You look like Kelly from 90210, and you work at Victoria's Secret. Oh, I got to see you." Like, oh my God. He was like, "I got to." Oh my God. And that was just for fun. Like, it wasn't really to meet the guy or nothing. It was just like, that's messed up, right?
Hey, hold on. my wife just told me that Jay 1985 is not my son. I thought that was my son.
It works. We're making you an extra kid, all right?
Hey, I done adopted you, Jay 1985.
Yeah, that is great. Oh my God. See, we were talking about significant others being the brain when we can't. That's a good example.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, Danikin, thank you. Oh my gosh. You're saying great stream to us.
Hey,
Yeah.
thanks, man. Thank you.
I was going to tell you, like, okay, so back when I was a teenager, when guys would actually meet me in person, like at the mall or something, they're trying to like kick it to me or talk to me or whatever, or get the phone number, the beeper number, because back then it was like a pager. Yeah, it was the beeper. I had like the Motorola pager, like I thought I was doing my thing.
Beepers.
I had like in the Zach Morris cell phone, like the beeper.
Gotcha.
So yeah, they'd be like, "Yo, has anyone ever told you before you look like them twins from Sister, like Tia and Tamara?" And dudes used to like always swear that I look like Tia and Tamara back then, and they always trying to get the phone number for that. Oh my God. So I used to get that all the time.
All right, Danikin.
Yeah, bye, Danikin. You had a beeper too? See, I think we all did back then.
I had a few beepers.
Yeah, I had a few because I used to lose mine. My parents get so mad because they spend so much on it.
Yeah, like, see, I
remember.
I was working, so I was buying my own beepers. I had the Express, with the numbers on the side. I had slide out case. That was me.
Oh, those were the nice ones too. Yeah. Oh my God. And Ozzy and I, we say this to each other all the time, but like back then, if you tell someone that you love them on the beeper, it'd be 143. And that's now what Ozzy and I always do to each other. We'll be like 143, because that means I love you in beeper language.
Oh, okay, yeah, I ain't know nothing about that.
Yeah. See, that's from like when we were teenagers type era. But yeah. And so back then, if you beep someone in 143, it meant you love them. So now Ozzy and I still say that to each other. We'll say 143, baby. Yeah. Oh, he's like, "You do sound like the sister twins." Yeah, I don't look like them that much anymore. But when I was younger and thinner, I looked like
sister.
Yep. Yeah, because when Ozzy seen like my teenage pictures, he was like, "You look like Tia, Tamara, and do you remember Essence Atkins? She was in Smart Guy with Tia and Tamara's little brother."
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he's saying you look like her too back then. But now 3 kids later, and no, I'm kidding. Oh God. Well, you already know. The older we get, the different we get.
Hey, it's all right. We look like ourselves.
Right. And as long as Ozzy finds me looking good, that's all I'm worried about. Like, we were talking about significant others.
Ourselves. Most definitely.
Yeah. And that's the way God made me.
Yeah. Hey, you're all right. Like I said, we look like ourselves. We never, ever question, what I'm saying, how we look. Because, hey, you're a beautiful young lady. You're all right. You don't question or doubt how you look. Because if I thought I was ugly, running around, people, I could be the same person. You know what I'm saying? You got to always have a positive outlook.
Always.
You got to know. You got to know that you're still on top of the world. You got to. You just got to.
Yeah. Life ain't over. Yeah, we got a lot of life to live. You know?
You
That's
know,
what I
somebody tell us an old actor we look like, when we get up in age, rather than
right. It's true. Oh my gosh. And you know what Melvin said? And this I had too. He's talking about the chirp. Remember the Boost Mobile? Where you at? In the chirp?
Yeah.
I had that too. And then it would go, and you can only talk to people like a certain amount of feet. If you were like on the chirp, it would go pretty far. But you could do like, I'm calling you in Texas on it, on the
I
chirp.
thought it was just the people that if you had their number and they had your number and it was programmed, you could chirp them well.
Yes, that's what it was as well. Yeah.
Okay.
But it wasn't like, like they could be far.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never knew.
Far enough, but not like out of state or like.
I'm trying to remember. I know I had a cousin. He was chirping all the time. I don't think I had a Boost mobile phone later on. I don't think I ever had the chirp.
I like Boost Mobile now, though. I don't have it anymore, but my teenager still has Boost Mobile, and he likes it. And I had Boost Mobile for many years, up to a couple of years ago, and I didn't leave it on purpose. It just was like finance stuff, but I like it. I never have an issue with their service. Like, they're really good.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of really good and like cost effective, I want to tell everyone, I don't know, are you familiar with KJ Aquatics on Facebook? Did I show them to you?
As a matter of fact, KG Aquatics sent me to for winning the Anabantoid Project Anabantoid Best in Show.
Yeah.
I got some. Oh, don't drop in the water. Uh-oh. Let me stand up because it might drop in the water. This is one extreme.
Wait, is that from KJE or KG?
I think it's KG Aquatic.
Oh, that's not the same dude I'm talking
about. Oh, it's KJE? That's somebody
else?
else?
Yeah, it's Keith.
Yeah, okay. No, I don't know them.
Oh, okay. But I bet you're loving that extreme fish food because Ozzy and I are too. It is so good. Oh my god.
Krill flakes.
The krill flakes, yes. I don't have my bottle in here. It's in the other room. But yeah, or no, I do.
Dead Fred, what's happening?
Hi, Dead Fred.
Okay,
he missed our conversation. He would have loved hearing our conversation about the debate earlier because he was there for it.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah, he was there.
Yeah. But yeah,
my wife and I was sitting in on it together. That may be one of the few streams where we were both watching it, because we knew both of y'all, as opposed to it was just people I knew. She wouldn't know, she'd hear it, but we were like, let's see what they talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, funky.
Exactly. Right on. Oh my god.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so you gotta check out KJ. I can't even talk right now. KJE Aquatics. His name is Keith, and his store is on Facebook. Everyone should check him out. Ozzy and I absolutely love him. I think you were in Rob's live, like in the chat, when Ozzy showed off our plants, remember? Uh-huh. And I think he showed it when you were a guest too, like backstage he was showing you. But our girl Mad Fish Diva put me and Ozzy onto him. And we've been faithful customers of him. And then he turned into a friend of ours too. And we're not just saying this because he's our friend, because we showed you like everything before we developed the friendship. But his prices are reasonable, like beyond reasonable, like really cheap. And you can buy not just plants from him, but dry goods too. Like for instance, we got a check valve from the check valve was 20 cents. And it was a Zoomed check valve.
20 cents?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
He sells driftwood. He sells Indian almond leaves. He sells Vitacam, which I know a lot of people are into using. We just use like fresh produce and vary the diet, but some people are into using Vitacam. He anything, you name it. He sells sponge filters. He sells like everything. And it's like a one-stop shop. He even has fish for sale sometimes too. You got to check on his listing of what he has available or message him. Like endlers, plecos, stuff that you're interested in. So yeah, I recommend, like, a lot of people check them out. Yeah, KJE Aquatics, Death Fred. Yeah, let's see if I could type in. Actually, you know what? Am I a mod on here or no? I'm not sure. Is All in Tanks a mod? Because I can put his link up.
Let me see. Post something on the chat.
All right, try to at least just write his name.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I'll make you a mod if you're not.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Okay, so now you gotta make it. Yeah, KJ. Wait, did Dead Fred sub to him or us or both? Wait, I don't know which one he was talking about. Yeah, KJE Aquatics is on YouTube as well. And his YouTube channel isn't like ours would be, like showcasing tanks or like information or anything like that. It's actually him unboxing his shipment so that you can see what you want to order and you can see what you're going to get if you order that. Do you get what I mean?
I do. Let me see. I may have. Oh no! I haven't seen him. I haven't seen this. Okay.
Hi, Hods.
And
Hods.
I'm actually
Hods.
subbed
How
to
you
it,
say it? Hods or Hodes?
Hodes.
Hodes.
What's happening, Hodes 21?
Just sub KG Aquatics. Been sub. Yes, Steph, right. You have been subbed. I don't know what I was thinking. Cool.
Yeah, I was already subbed to it, but I haven't seen any video.
So, wait, what?
I was already subbed to it, but I've never seen any video.
To who?
KJ.
Yeah, no, you got all his videos. Like he'll put them up when he gets new shipments, and particularly of his plants and wood, not of like the dry goods per se that I told you about. But however, he does carry all that. He carries Northfin. He doesn't carry Extreme. That's how I knew you weren't talking about him. He carries Northfin and some other brand that's really good, and his price are reasonable. Now, what he tells us is he will match Amazon prices. So if you look at his Northfin food and you're like, oh, I could get that cheaper at Amazon, and you tell him that and show him that, he will match that. Just like, you know how PetSmart does that, I think, or one of them stores like that. Because I know Ozzy and I have price matched at them before. He'll do that. But typically you don't have to do it, because I swear to you, this man is cheap. Like good cheap. Not cheap like you're going to get ripped off cheap.
Oh, I know. I got you.
Yeah. Well, I'm clarifying too. You know what I'm saying. But do you want me to try to... Hold on. Let me say it again.
You're a moderator now. You might be able to... It hasn't turned blue, but...
I'm going out of that, and I'm going to find his Facebook thing to post it. Just give me 1 second, because I'm not the fastest typer, unfortunately. My kids make fun of me because I, like, type really slow. Slower than they would. Let's see. Gotta love kids. My allergies are acting up so bad. Like, I swear it's a pollen storm or something. Let's see here. Hopefully I did that right. Where's YouTube now? Good thing I have 2 devices that I'm working off of. I think that's the key to Candy too. I never asked her, but to have 2 devices going seems like that'd be the way, right?
Right, I have to.
Yeah,
like
same.
Early on, I would lose feed, and I learned to flip from my tablet to my phone.
Right.
And now I can I have to chat on the phone also, because the lag is so bad that I don't understand why the chat lag is so bad, but that's the camera that I'm using. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let's see if it'll let me. I do know what you mean, because I'm like the same way though about that. Like I have to have 2 devices. In Ozzy too. When he does Rob's, he's got to do it that way. I can't. Oh, okay. There we go. And yes. Oh, Bob. Thank you, Bob. I didn't even know Bob was still with us.
It had just popped up right before you.
Aw, thank you, Bob. He came to my rescue. He's like, she has taken too long. I agree with Kiko and Sophia. She types like real slow. I'll never be a Candy, but I can try. Oh, Lord. Yeah, so everyone should check him out. Like I said, Ozzy and I and Madfish Diva. Yes, Diva talks about him all the time. Yes, and sub to him because then you can see what comes in. You know, as far as like the plants and what. Sometimes he shows his dry good. Now, referring to the dry goods, you do have to look on his Facebook page or message him if you're looking for something specific. But I
Okay.
guarantee you, there's like nothing he can't provide for you at a
Gotcha.
cheap price. Even fish, like I said. So, and fertilizers. For the birds, he carries Thrive with a THRIVE, I believe.
Okay.
I've never personally used it, but Michael's Fish Room has used it, has gotten good results. And somebody else I talked to, I just can't recall right now, it's getting really good results off of Thrive as well. But
Right.
me, I'm an Easy Green girl. I swear by it. Love Easy Green. The things that I swear by from Aquarium Co-op that Ozzy and I are like, no, this just can only be Aquarium Co-op is our sponge filters. We have to only do Aquarium Co-op sponge filters if we're running sponge filters, and the Easy Green and the Easy Tabs. Those are like our only Aquarium Co-op that we will only do. We're weird like that, I don't know, but we love the core sponge and we love the results of Easy Green. Also, I think Ozzy and I mentioned this when we were on your live that one time. Remember when Rack and Bob were in your chat?
Yeah.
Yeah. We said that our daughter and our son, for that matter, Kiko, 9 and 10 years old, can dose Easy Green. That's how easy it is.
Oh, okay.
Because it's as many gallons as the tank is the pumps. So a 10-gallon, one squirt. That's it. The 29-gallon.
Good night, Lori.
Good night, Lori. Oh, my sweet Lori and her little pea puffs. I love her pea puffs. Her pea puffer tinks. And the 29-gallon gets 3 pumps because it's close to 30. So we do 3 pumps. So it's so easy that a 9 and 10-year-old, as we said to you, can do it. Like, there should be no one's excuse to not be able to use Easy Green. So we love that factor, and we love the results as far as the plant growth and how everything's coming along. So for that, we're Aquarium Co-op all day. Of course, Aquarium Co-op has very great plants. So if you're on there and you're already ordering your Easy Green and your sponge filter, of course you want to throw some plants on there because you're going to pay for shipping anyways. But if you're not doing that, I recommend you head over to Keith at KJ Aquatics on Facebook and place that plant order. You won't be sorry. Like, he will give you 3 bunches, big bunches of like Bacopa. You can mix and match too, for that matter. Ludwigia and water wisteria. You can mix and match, and they're huge bunches. And I believe it's only $4 or $5 for 3 bunches, and you can mix and match. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I better look into it.
Get to him.
Oh.
And if there's things you want special, he'll talk to his plug or whatever you want to call it, whoever he gets his stuff from. I don't know, the distributor. And he'll get it. Like Ozzy and I, one time, we were like, we want a moss, but we want a moss that's kind of different and cool. So not just Java moss. So he yes, that Fred. Yes. Ooh, okay. He might be able to hook you up with that. I'm pretty sure. Because I noticed he had floating plants, but I just can't recall which ones. But like I said, there's nothing really that this man has not been able to get. So anyhow, back to the moss. He ordered us flame moss, and we love it. We love it. It grows like a flame, and the green on it makes me happy. Green makes me happy, but this green makes me really happy. I wish I'm not in the room, because otherwise I would show you it. It's in the other room. But I'll take a picture of it and like show it to you when I can. But you will love it too. Like, I know you would, because you like different things. Like, this will make you happy too. The only thing that I'm going to talk to Diva about this is, unless you guys know the answer, because I don't know the answer to this. Okay, so it's already in the tank. We have it on the bottom of the tank. And we didn't ever glue it onto... Who is that? Ozzy? No. My oldest son is here. Hi, baby. So anyways, Sorry, kids, sidetracked me. We already have it in the tank, the flame moss, and we haven't glued it onto anything. But everything that we would want it to glue is in the tank, like wet and in the tank. What do we do? Do we take the moss and the item, let the item dry, or take the item out, dry it, then super glue it? Bob probably knows this answer if you don't.
That would probably be a tie-on as opposed to the glue.
You think
You know how
so?
they use
Because
you know how
I've
they use like
seen.
the fishing line, because then you wouldn't have to dry anything. But I don't think
I
I don't
got
think
fishing
super
wire, of
glue.
course, because Kiko being the fisherman.
Yeah, I don't think the super glue would drop. I mean, would set on that wet wood.
Or set too fast because super glue sets really fast when wet.
But it'll just be out there, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It wouldn't bond to the wet wood. It would just set,
gotcha.
boop, and then pop off. You know.
So get Kiko's fishing wire and do it right on whatever we intend.
That's
Because
what I would do.
here's what's happening is, like, Ozzy's been doing the water changes lately, like over the past week and a half. Me and the kids been busy, school stuff, right? So Ozzy's been doing it, and I have to like remind him before he fills the water. We use the Python, and I'm like, Ozzy, don't have the water, maybe remove the item and tie it. Oh, he's saying the same thing. Yeah, definitely, Dead Fred. That's what Hank would. Yeah, that's awesome. We will do that. I take the item out and super glue. See, I thought you could super glue it, Hank. I've seen people do it, but I
And
never.
it'll set. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it was set to the wet wood, but I don't know because I
No,
probably
but
would
it
never
sets
tried it.
fast. Is the problem with super glue when it's ceramic. I can't say the word ceramic. Yeah, see, that Fred is with me. He's old and he types slow. That's how I feel. I be typing mad slow. But my point being, I think you might be right for the matter of convenience and just get it over with. But you can, in fact, super glue it to the item. But super glue, the liquid one that we use in the hobby, the ceramic, I can't say the word. It's like starts with a CY something. Once it's wet, it sets faster. So if you watch people who do videos, I've seen a lot of videos like where they do super glue, like the moss or whatever on the rock or wood. Usually on wood, not on a rock. And because I think with the rock, then you would use the wire. And it sets faster when it's wet. And I know that to be true too, because one of my tank lids, I have like one of those little like 10-gallon lids that are like plastic, not the glass thing. That comes with like a kit.
Yep.
And the little hingey piece broke off. And it got wet and it set faster. It did, in fact, set faster.
Okay.
But I'm wondering if it would set too fast. You see what I'm saying? If you decide to glue it, do it wet. The water activates the super glue. Hank is wrong. LOL. Okay, see, that's what I was trying to explain, Bob. Well, the Hank being wrong, kind of, but I was being nice. But
Yeah, hey, I'm glad you said something because it was flying in the face of what seemed to make sense to me. I'm like, no.
And Dead Fred has the word.
Yeah, I just had it up there on the screen. There you go.
I'm so illiterate today. I can read, I promise you. That one's
Cyanoacrylate.
Cyanoacrylate. Yeah. Does bond fast wet stuff. See? Thank you, Bob and Dead Fred. We appreciate
including
it.
hands. Yeah, I won't be doing that.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's what Ozzy and I are gonna have to do. Yeah, because when he's adding the water in the tank with the Python, I'm reminding him, don't do it near that flame moss. Because what's gonna happen is, because it's not set to something, it's just gonna blow into different pieces around the tank instead of that one that way I like it, where it's like doing the flamey thing.
Okay.
It activates the glue, Hank. The water. Yep.
Gotcha. Is that the specific glue with that C
word
word that does that?
Right. Okay. Say what?
No, I was asking him, was it the specific that C word, was that the specific reason for it to bond, to be activated by the water?
Yeah, it has to be that one. And I think it's in my purse because I had that glue around here to show you. They sell it at Dollar Tree even. That's where I got it from, Dollar Tree.
Okay.
I got one pack from One Fish, Two Fish, and the other ROC, and then I got the other one from Dollar Tree. Because that's where she told me to get it, and lo and behold, that's where I was. But it has to be that one.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's not safe for aquariums.
Gotcha.
Yeah, awesome. You learn something new every day, right, though?
Yes, most
especially
definitely.
in this hobby. Like, it's always something new. And that's what I love about this hobby, too, because I want to always learn. Yeah, that's the specific type of glue. They suggest that one because it's fish shaped. Yes. See.
Okay, yeah, definitely learn something new every day.
Wood with glue to Nubius. Yeah. A lot of people do that. They'll glue like a Nubius or Java fern. But you got to keep the rhizome, like up.
Above the substrate.
Yeah, and then you like glue like the roots will dangle and then boom. Yeah. Although I have the Java fern like planted in my stand, but I keep the rhizome up above the sand and it's thriving. Wow. So you could do it that way, but a lot of people do it on wood. And then the Nubius, yeah.
Yeah, I have one in my sump in the garage that's on my guppy pond.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a little piece of Anubias with the roots pushed down into the substrate with just that rhizome sitting above there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's immersed, and I'm trying something that's because it was submerged all the time. So I'm taking a plant that's already was established, submerged, and I'm trying it immersed. The leaves started to wilt a little, then they stopped. Like they didn't turn real dark. So I don't know if that stopping point means they're gonna come back from that, but they didn't die and come off.
You know what though? When they died in the the super glue gel holds is right, and Kayla was saying that too. So yeah. I was just gonna say super glue gel, Pat and Jess. Yes. I was gonna ask you about your plants. They actually came off, or did they melt back?
No, it didn't. They started to look like they do when they wilt, almost like it was like drying out.
Okay.
But they stopped at a certain point. Like they're still green. They just look they look wilty, but they didn't just go all the way. They just stopped at that point.
And this is Anubias?
Anubias.
Okay, because I've had that happen with me with crypt. I don't know what kind of crypt it is, to be honest. I'm not good with all plant names, but I know in fact it's a crypt. I just don't know what kind. It's not like Crypt 1T or something like that, but it's crypt. It looks like the Little Shop of Horrors guy. It's that crypt.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Bob or one of them might know what it is, but anyhow, it's ours does that. And once we see it do like that, we dose it with the Easy Green and the pump, but the tab in there. We put the root tab in there, and it comes back to life, especially with the Easy Root tab.
Okay.
I can't even praise that stuff enough. I'm always an infomercial for it, I swear, and I don't even I'm not a brand ambassador or nothing like that, but I swear.
But you can be. You might need to start adding him on stuff.
Right. Do videos endorsing it and stuff down the line. Possibly so. I don't know. It feels like he has so many. Not saying I couldn't be a part of that at one point in time, but as of right now, it feels like there's a lot of people. It's brand ambassadors for Aquarium Co-op, and I feel like that might do the opposite if you have too many. People saying, I don't know.
Yeah,
for
no,
me,
I do. And
turn off.
That's not a personal relationship at that point. It's like obvious.
Robots.
Yeah, it's obvious at this point that's not a personal relationship.
Yeah. And for me, when I'm talking about Keys, because, I really believe his stuff is good and cheap, and it was before I even made friends with him. And when I say friends, we haven't developed super, super close relationship, but we've talked a lot, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So I'm really telling you the truth of how I feel. It's not like I'm programmed to say, KJ. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yep.
not downing brand ambassadors either. I'm just saying once you get a whole army of people, it just kind of then.
All right, Foxes, Fishes, you have a good night now.
Oh, bye,
Thank you for coming
Roxy.
through.
Yay. I'll see you at Father Fish. Maybe not tomorrow morning, because I'm sleeping, but Monday morning. I'm definitely sleeping in. Because look, it's, well, for you, what time is it?
It is 12:26, so it's still late, but yeah.
It's 1:26 here.
Hey,
I bet you Ozzy's snoring.
Yeah, we about to get off though. I've been looking at the time and I'm like, man, I can hit 2 hours though. I can just go, but yeah, we might need to get on. Get on off here.
Hey, I'll stay on a little bit. Oh, Ozzy's knocking on the wall. Yep, he did that. What's that not called? Shower and shave or shave? That dun 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 dun. 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 He just did that knock.
Hey,
all right, Ozzy.
I have an announcement. I've started at a new unit, and I'm gonna be working first shift, which is gonna be like 1 a.m. to 12 noon. And as of right now, look like it's gonna be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So since it's 1 a.m, I should still be able to hold this time slot, y'all, but I'm not sure. So keep your ears open. I may be trying to find another home time slot, but as of right now, I'm gonna try to keep this one. But I'll let y'all know. And I want to thank y'all for coming through tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Sharing this time, Miss Tiffany Rose. Thank you for those stories. Very entertaining. Thank you very much. And before you leave, I want you to give them your all in tank slogan.
Oh yes, whatever you do in life, make sure you go all in.
Thank you very much. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Enjoy your life. Enjoy people. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Good night. Bye.